Hey everybody, I hope you guys are doing well. So, something has occurred to me recently and I want to vent about it. I have a story for y'all. Um, okay, here's what happened. Um, I was taking out the trash earlier and I had my phone in my pocket. And I was listening to a video. I forget what video it was. It might have been like Keita Rose, because I know I was listening to that at some point where she was talking about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. The only thing I can say about that is what everybody else has said, which is, girl, just put those credentials out there, like proof of credentials out there, and shut the whole thing down, and we move on, okay? And whatever. But sorry, I was eating an apple and some of the apple skin kind of got caught in my throat. So, but anyway, yeah, so I was listening to a video, minding my business, taking out the trash, and my phone starts ringing. Like ringing as in I'm calling somebody. A butt dial, if you will, except it wasn't in my back pocket, it was in my side pocket. And I was thinking to myself, oh, I'm accidentally calling my ex's dad, because I used to accidentally butt dial him pretty often. The main two people, it's three people that I butt dial the most, okay, off the top of my head. One is a woman that I used to play Pokemon Go with. I'm going to say her first name. It's Amber. It's lots of Ambers out there, so nobody will know who I'm talking about, but her name is Amber. And I used to play Pokemon Go with her until she moved out of state. Why? We kept like sending each other gifts after she moved out of state, but I was accidentally calling her, and I'm sure I was super annoying. It was a complete accident. The other person is my aunt. So I have an aunt who I have not spoken to in going on 10 years. And about 10 years ago, she gave me her number. And so it was saved in my phone. And no. The contacts got transferred over when I got a new phone. And it was like calling her sometimes. Like sometimes I'd be on the phone with my friend and then the phone would go to the other line and ring her. And you guys might think I'm crazy as hell, but I would never like say anything. I would just like hang up the phone. I would never call back or text back and say, oops, sorry, that was an accident or anything. I know that's wild, but this is an aunt who I haven't talked to in a long time, and I don't know like why I didn't do that, but I've called her probably a good 100 times by accident, never calling her to talk to her, literally by accident because she was saved in my phone. Okay. And the third person is my, if I haven't mentioned this, okay, my ex's dad. I would accidentally call him a lot. So those are the main three people that were victims of my butt dialing, which really wasn't my butt. It was more like cheek dialing, where I'd be on the phone with somebody and it would accidentally hit the contacts and call them or whatever. Anyway, why I'm telling you guys the story is something sad happened to me tonight. So I'm on the phone, minding my own business, listening to a video, not talking to anybody, listening to a video. Phone starts ringing. Someone answers the phone. This was past 10 p.m., which is considered to be late by a lot of people's standards. I try not to call somebody past 10 unless I'm like hyper familiar with them and I know that it's okay, or it's an emergency. And anyway, it calls this person and they answer my call, and I did not recognize them. And I had asked, I said, hey, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to call. Who am I talking to or who am I speaking with? And the person, I want to say their name, but I can't. So I'm just going to say her name is Lisa for the sake of the video. A woman answers saying her name is Lisa. And for privacy's sake, names have been changed. And I'm thinking to myself, who the hell is Lisa? Okay, I'm getting to the sad part of the moment. But anyway, I'm like, who in the hell is Lisa? And I'm trying to play it back in my mind. And I asked my mom, I was like, who was that? Like, who can you check the phone? Because, oh, by the way, I have an old number, but a new phone right now, and I may be getting rid of this phone number, whatever, because I currently have. Y'all are gonna think I'm batshit crazy. I have 3 damn phones. Okay, it's a long story, but I have 3 phones. I don't hardly talk to anybody, and yet I got 3 damn phones. Make it make sense. Anyway, so I had asked my mom, who I had take my headphones and my phone out of my pocket for me because I couldn't handle anything because I had been handling the trash. I had her look at my phone. I was like, hey, do you know who that was? And she said, oh, it's a New York number. And I'm thinking, who the hell is that? And then I came to the realization of who it was. I forgot about this woman's name, and that sounds bad. I mean, if I had thought about it, I would have remembered it. But like, okay, I told this story in the video where oh gosh, how did this go? I did a video where I was talking about Users by Felicia. I met a woman, I'm just going to be descriptive here. I met a woman at Chuck E. Cheese, okay? She was there to celebrate someone's birthday party. I was there to, like, for my daughter to have a good time. And I think it was like right after her brother at that time, he lives in our area now, but he was living out of state. And I think it was like right after he had to go back home to the former state that he lived in. And so, to cheer my daughter up, we were like, oh, we'll take her to Chuck E. Cheese, whatever. So we took her to Chuck E. Cheese and we had a chance meeting with this woman. We'll call her Lisa, as mentioned. And Lisa had 2 kids. A little girl who was older and taller and everything than my daughter, but they looked kind of like they could be sisters. Again, if you go look at the By Felicia video, then you'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, they looked like they could be sisters. And she had a cute little boy. And we ended up, I think he was still my man. In fact, I know he was. Okay, so this was the end of 2023, I want to say. He pushed me to get her contact information. So I did. And that's okay. So she had me babysit for her a couple of times, watch her son for her. And she wanted me to be a regular babysitter for her. But I have a kid of my own. And what they were offering was not a fair amount at all, not even remotely close to a fair amount. And, so it's just like, and every time I babysat for her, it was an inconvenience. Like I had to go above and beyond to do it. It wasn't just like, oh, I'll watch your kid along with my kid. It was like the first time my mom watched my child for me while I went to this practical strangers, or practically a stranger's house, I should say, to watch her baby for her. And the second time they brought their child to my home and I watched him here. And in both incidents, I was never paid. And I told myself, if they don't pay me the second time that I watch their kid, I am not watching their child anymore. Okay, I'm not only am I not watching their child anymore, I'm cutting it off with them. And it made me sad because I appreciated their daughter and my daughter were not close, but they liked each other. And so I felt bad to cut off that connection. But you're not going to keep using me. And that's how I saw the situation, as these people were using me. um and it's not that deep. I just want to make this clear. It's not that deep. It's pretty simple. We didn't know each other very well. I didn't feel like we were actually friends with one another. I felt like they just, I guess, saw me as like free babysitting or something, free and or low price, but really free for them, because again, I never got paid anything. And they were kind of like trying to push me into, watching their child multiple times and stuff. And I just decided like I was going to, like, so I ended up just blocking her, right? And my phone, my old phone, had a feature on it where when I blocked somebody, then I could still see what they were saying if they continued to text me. And so I would see messages from her where she's like, "Oh, hey, can you babysit this time? Can you babysit that time? Da 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 da." No mention of paying me. And I'm just like, "Yeah, no, ma'am." Again, we were not quote unquote friends. I had hoped to become friends, but we had never become friends. And so I just felt used, and I just wasn't here for it. So anyway, that's the story with that. And so, it was a quote unquote short lived acquaintanceship. Watched her child twice for her, never paid. Not that deep, but yeah, no, thank you. Okay. Um, but before that, last time I babysat, we had hung out. Like she brought her. Okay, I went to her daughter's birthday party. Earlier in, was that 2024? I went to her daughter's birthday party. I think it was 2024. I'm sorry. Yeah, because I think my partner and I, former partner now, I think we were still a couple. So we went to her daughter's birthday party, and then my daughter's birthday party came later that year. And they came to my daughter's birthday party. Plus, I invited them. So it was like, it was a few little hangouts. We got acquainted with her husband, and he was a very likable person in a lot of ways. They were both religious people, went to church, and were really tied to church and everything. But whatever. Here's why I'm mentioning all this. Tonight I found out that he passed away. I do not know the circumstances. I did not ask. The reason why I quote unquote butt dialed her, and by the way, I have to be careful with my hands now because apparently AI is stealing our fingerprints. The fuck? Anyway, so be mindful showing your full palm and everything like that. But as it were, I so I guess I gotta, when I do the quotations, I gotta do it backwards or something. I don't know. I'm being silly. But no, I was gonna say though really quickly that the reason why I accidentally called her is because a phone call, or excuse me, a text came through from her saying that they were doing a Father's Day celebration connected to the passing of her husband. And I was just in shock. I was in shock. Like, like, wow, I can't believe he's gone. That's terrible. Um, I don't know what to say. You know, I've thought about, what's funny is, even though I didn't know her name when I called her by accident, remember her number was not saved in my new phone or anything. Um, I and I didn't even recognize her voice or anything. I had thought about them from time to time, to the extent that, of course, I did a whole video on them. And I think it even occurred to me that her daughter, I think, has a birthday this month in May. I don't know if it's passed already or if it's about to come up. But either way, like, I was just very sad. Um, and something else that came to mind. a couple of things, is that I really hate this for her and her family. And I could tell that these were two people that were kind of overwhelmed together. So I cannot imagine what this must have been like for her away, like without her husband as some support. And she's got two young children. And that made me feel really, really bad for her. The other thing is that I realized something, and I don't want to be morbid or anything, but I just want to, like, I tell you guys what I really think about stuff, right? Or I either tell you what I really think, or I try not to talk about it at all, whatever it is. But I realized I've lost so many people. Like, I guess it was my previous video. I was referring to my friend Laura. Laura died in 2016, almost 10 years ago. It was, I want to say around August of 2016, she passed away. I didn't find out about it until the month of September after I had come back from a family trip. I had found out, someone had told me, that she had passed away. And then months later, I got a Facebook page, and her former boyfriend, well, boyfriend literally until the end, he messaged me, and, he told me the details of what happened. And he said that that she thought a lot of me and everything. And I was like, oh, that was really, really sweet, which I knew that she did, but it meant a lot coming from her boyfriend. And so there's that. Um, what else did I want to tell you guys though? Yeah, so then I had that friend Jonathan who passed away. I didn't even know he passed away until about a yearish after it happened. I think it happened at the beginning of 2025 that he died. And, you know, I'm like, and these are not the only people that I've lost, but it's like, I feel like, oh yeah, and then I talked about that one friend in the video that had passed away. We were not friends at the time of this person's passing, but one of my regrets, especially since hearing of their passing, was that we had never made amends, you know? And it was my choice to like not be friends with them anymore because I was like upset at me feeling like they treated me unfairly at the time. But I wish that we had like moved past it when that person was still around. And so yeah, I just feel like I've lost a lot of people, you know what I mean? And that's not even including people in my family. I've lost so many people in my family. That's another story. My last grandparent, my grandpa just passed away in December. It has been a lot. And I don't want to be morbid or anything, but I'm just saying, like, and I called my former partner, and he had met Lisa's quote unquote husband, and he liked him. They got on really good and everything. They were like playing or discussing at least was it Digimon? One of those, or no, maybe it was Yu-Gi-Oh. I think it was Yu-Gi-Oh. They were discussing their Yu-Gi-Oh decks or something together. And when I told him, I could tell he was really affected and upset about it. I also had a friend named Marvin who I had lost. And just a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. And and it's a lot. That's all I'm going to say on record. And it's sad. But my deepest condolences to Lisa. And that's just, like I said, a pseudonym. But my deepest condolences to her and her children, her family, all her loved ones, and everything. And I don't think she was a bad person. I just was not up for being used or feeling used or someone who was pulling on me. But whatever I felt like I should have gotten out of the situation I was not getting, whatever that was. And I just wasn't open for that. Now, ironically, what occurred to me is that her situation now is where I would feel like she would need the most help. But I also have so much stuff going on that, you know, I haven't offered any because I have a lot of stuff going on myself. If you look behind me, it is a horrible mess because I am downsizing a lot of stuff right now. We're doing some heavy spring cleaning around here. But anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Sorry for the depressing video. And also, I'm back in the 290s. I weighed in at 296 point something today, so that's good. But yeah, take care. Bye.